This week on the Computer Chronicles, a sneak preview of Copeland, the new operating system for the Macintosh. A look at 3 new Mac clones from Radius, Power Computing, and Daystar Digital. Want a portable Power Mac? We'll show you the new Power PC PowerBook. On Net News, we'll check out the Power Computing website and show you how to get a sneak preview of the Copeland interface. Plus, this week's computer news. All this and more coming up next on the Computer Chronicles.
Computer Chronicles is made possible in part by Hewlett-Packard Personal Computers, developing PCs for business. The Computer Chronicles is also made possible by the Software Publishers Association, providers of educational materials to help manage software. Don't copy that floppy.
Hi, and welcome to the Computer Chronicles. I'm Stuart Chaffee. If you're a Mac head, you might like this little button, if you can see it here. It says Windows 95 equals Macintosh 89. Yes, the Mac operating system has been doing long file names, plug and play, drag and drop, all that stuff for many years. But Apple is not standing still. With the competition now coming from Windows 95, Apple's about to launch its own new operating system, codenamed Copeland. This is the first major upgrade to the Mac OS in many years, and here to give us a sneak preview of the Mac OS that'll be coming out in '96 is Adam Samuels of Apple Computer. Welcome, Adam.
Thanks.
Real quickly, in a nutshell, what's going to be new about Copeland?
The big improvements in Copeland are really focused on 2 things. One is improving people's productivity. We want people to be more efficient. We want them to get more accomplished in less time. And the second is giving them a way to take advantage of the performance of the PowerPC chip. So Copeland is going to do a lot to help in that area.
All right, you've got a lot of stuff to show us, so I want to just let you roll and show us as many of the new features of Copeland as you can now.
Okay, thanks. First of all, one of the things we recognize is there's a lot that people would like to do with a Macintosh today. They want to be able to make multiple copies. They want to be able to empty the trash. They even want to be able to open an application and have that all happen simultaneously.
So you were doing 3 things at once there.
Right. And I also want to be able to switch between them and keep track of the progress. So we now have a whole new level of multitasking available in Copeland, and we think that is going to help people's efficiency dramatically.
Okay, what else?
Okay. One other thing we know is people have more and more information on their computers. They get more and more information from online services and from the network.
You can't find stuff?
It's really tough to find things. So we have a new, really advanced find capability that's really exciting. One of the things about it that's great is you can look not just for the title of a document or what's contained there, but for what's inside the document itself. So in this case here, I'll search for the word seafood pasta, and I get a list very quickly of items here. This is a multitasking process. It's easy to use, and I can directly manipulate these items. I can treat this window like any other window. I can retype a name here in the list, and it changes the name of the item on the desktop. The other thing we've recognized is people do a lot of searching constantly on the same items, so we can save a find now. And the find actually is smart. It automatically updates when you add new information. So if, for example, here, I were to insert a floppy disk, the floppy disk has some content, which will show up in a second, and you'll see the list updates to include the new items that match the criterion.
So much more intelligent finder.
Exactly.
Okay, what else do we have that's new?
The third area is really one that I'm really excited about, and that has to do with the fact that our users have many different levels of experience, and some of them even share the same computer.
Right.
So Copeland will give people the way to set up private kind of areas to work on the system that basically give information that's appropriate to each user's level and needs. So here I have a system that's button-based, very easy to use, with a limited number of menu selections. This is a user who may be just getting started or doesn't need to know a lot about it.
Okay, so this is one particular user's profile.
Exactly.
And the interface is tailored to that person's level of knowledge.
That's correct. I have a couple of other examples here. Here's more of an intermediate user, who, as you see, has the traditional files and folders. And they have a couple of more menu selections here, based on their own needs and requirements. For an advanced user, we even give the capability to put in a password to protect access. And then we have the full richness of the Macintosh experience available here. So you see we've got the great selection of menu items that are available. And this is one way that people can customize their computer. A second way, though, is they can actually alter the appearance of the machine to better fit their own style and personality. So in this case, this user has an alternate theme that they're going to select, and the computer will basically update to show this whole new theme. And what's great is this is not just something you see at the desktop. If you open
the applications will follow the themes.
Yes, and I'll show you. ClarisWorks here does just that. And you'll see that the menu bar looks more, it looks more in keeping with this new style, but everything else is consistent. And what's really exciting is you can combine these. So for example, if you're a child, you could set up an environment that had a very simple user interface, but a very fun and attractive theme. So let me show that here. We've got button-based, very appealing. We've even added new sound
Perfect for kids. Yeah.
and animation, and we think this will keep people excited and looking at the computer on an ongoing basis.
The new Mac OS due out in 1996 sometime.
Yes, that's right.
Adam, thank you very much.
Thanks, Stuart.
Because of the competitive pressures, Apple is doing more than just upgrading its Macintosh operating system. It has begun to license the Mac OS and authorize the manufacture and sale of Macintosh clones. One of the first Mac clones comes from Radius, and we found several of these new Mac compatibles being used at the CKS Partners ad agency in San Francisco.
The CKS Group has been called a new generation integrated advertising agency, a sort of all-purpose shop that uses multiple media to promote its clients. The high-tech agency, based in San Francisco and Silicon Valley, produces ads for every kind of venue, from paper to cyberspace. And since paper is still an important medium, CKS has been looking for ways to simplify the process of bringing an idea to print. One way to do that is to bring color proofing in-house. It's part of the process called digital prepress.
Well, digital prepress is really the production extension of the creative work that we do toward print. And what we're doing is looking at ways of shortening the cycle of from creative to getting ink on paper. And one of the keys to that really is the proofing and the image processing and proofing phase of the job, which often is time-consuming.
CKS adopted the Radius System 100, a desktop imaging system based on the Apple-approved Radius clone of the Power Macintosh. System 100 runs on a 110 MHz PowerPC chip and includes high-speed graphics processing, Adobe Photoshop, and a color reference display monitor. The monitor's integrated color calibration is the key to making accurate soft proofing possible. The artist uses one Macintosh for retouching scanned images and photos, then transfers the graphics to the Radius for compositing and digital soft proofing.
To me, soft proofing is really something that's really grown out of having a color management system that is predictable. And when you can rely on your screen image to be as close as possible to a standard proofing system, then suddenly what you see on your screen has greater value and greater importance.
For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Giles Bateman.
In addition to the Radius System 100, Apple has also licensed the Mac OS to two other companies, Power Computing and Daystar Digital. Here to show us the new Power 100 is Bob Levitas. Welcome, Bob.
Thanks.
All right, we've got your Power 100 here. It's not turned on, nothing on the screen because, like, what's to see? It's a Mac, right? It's
just like a Mac.
It's going to look like a Macintosh.
Absolutely.
The box doesn't obviously look like a Macintosh, so let me ask you to pop the lid, and let's talk about what's inside here and how it's different and how it's the same as an Apple Mac. And let me angle this up here so our cameras can get a good shot of it. And give us a little kind of guided tour of what's inside here,
Okay,
Bob.
let's start over here. This is an Apple ROM. This is a cache sim. That's the CPU, a PowerPC 601 running at 100 megahertz. All the little gray guys on there are the Apple custom ASICs. There's 16 of them. These are RAM sims. We have 8 RAM sim slots over here.